ready to call the board meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, and it is 10:04 a.m. Ms. Cicchetti, if you would please call the roll.
Good morning. Chair
I
Lieber.
can't hear it.
Vice Chair Gaines is absent. Member Vasquez.
Present.
Member Schaefer.
Barely hear it. That's there.
Member Schaefer.
Here?
Okay, thank you. Controller Cohen.
Here.
Thank you. Before we get started, can I do the introduction for the members who are remote?
Please.
Controller Cohen, we'll begin with you. Ms. Controller Cohen is appearing remotely. If a member of the board attends the meeting by teleconference from a remote location, the member shall disclose whether any other individual 18 years or older is present in the room at the remote location with the member and the general nature of the member's relationship with such individual. Ms. Cohen, is there anyone 18 years of age or older present in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am. CHP Officer Lysandra Williams.
Yeah, if she could speak just a little louder, I think we're having a little audio.
Yes, CHP Officer Lysandra Williams.
Thank you, Controller Cohen. Welcome. Mr. Schaefer, we'll go to you now. Member Schaefer is appearing remotely. If a member of the board attends the meeting by teleconference from a remote location, the member shall disclose whether any other individual 18 years or older is present in the room at the remote location with the member and the general nature of the member's relationship with such individual. Member Schaefer, is there anyone 18 years of age or older present in the room with you at the remote location?
Yes, Madam Secretary, I have two staff members with me, Micah Perlin, my assistant, and Cody Pedersen, my chief assistant. They're both of legal age and they're here on business.
Thank you, Member Schaefer. All righty, back to you.
Okay, thank you. Members, as Ms. Cicchetti indicated, a quorum is present and the board meeting is called to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mr. Vasquez. Please stand.
Right hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Normally we'd be going to members' opening remarks, but with the consent of the members, I'd like to hold off on that until the vice chair arrives. And having said that, our first order of business is the safety and informational announcements presented by Ms. Cicchetti.
Good morning again. First, I'd like to remind the audience to silence your cell phones and any other wireless devices. Our safety announcement. In the auditorium, the exits are located on each side of the stage at the front, with additional exits at the rear. Please take a moment to locate the exit sign and the closest exit to you in the event of an emergency. Our informational announcement. The board meeting will be live streamed to the public and posted on the BOE website. Public comments are taken on each agenda item. If there are any members of the public wishing to speak before the board on any agenda item in person, we ask that you complete and submit to the Sergeant of Arms a public comment appearance sheet located at the entrance of the auditorium. If you wish to speak before the board by telephone, please dial the phone number and access code provided on our public agenda notice and follow the instructions of the AT&T moderator. When giving public comments, please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. We also ask that all speakers in the auditorium or on the AT&T telephone line to state your name before speaking for the record. This concludes the safety and informational announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cicchetti. And our first item up today is public comment on matters that are not on the agenda. If there's anyone who wishes to address us regarding items that are not on today's agenda, they may do so under this item. The board cannot act on items that are not on the agenda. However, we can schedule issues raised by the public for our consideration at future meetings. The clerk has informed me that we do not have any written comments, nor any speaker cards from the auditorium, so we will go to our AT&T moderator. Moderator, could you please let us know if there are any callers online for item 1?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ladies and gentlemen on the phone lines, if you wish to comment on item 1, please press 1 followed by 0. An AT&T operator will quickly gather your name and place you back in the queue. Again, for questions, please press, or comments, please press 1 followed by 0. And no participants are queuing up.
Thank you. Members will go on to item 2 now, tax program matters, public hearing for property tax state assessees, presentation on valuation of state assessed properties. We will now open the public hearing for property tax state assessees, and we'll begin with a presentation from Mr. McCool.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Lieber and honorable members of the board. My name is Jack McCool, Chief of the State Assessed Properties Division. I am here to introduce the state assessees' presentations on the valuation of state assessed properties. Under Property Tax Rule 903, the board provides state assessees with the opportunity to make public presentations regarding the valuation of their unitary property. Today is the second of 2 opportunities to set aside for state assessees to come before the board and make presentations regarding matters affecting their annual valuation. The first of these 2 opportunities was back in February. These presentations are informational only and do not require any board action. I am not aware of any state assessees that are planning on making a presentation today. However, I will note that the State Assessed Properties Division staff has met with many state assessees already this year to discuss specific matters related to their valuations, and we will continue to make ourselves available to any state assessee that would like to meet with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've been informed that we do not have any written comments nor any speaker cards on this item. So we'll go to our AT&T moderator. Moderator, if you could please let us know if there are any callers for item 2.
If you would like to comment on item number 2, please press 10 at this time. 10. No participants are queuing up.
Thank you. Mr. McCool, did you have any close on that? Or it's great the way that it is. Thank you so much. And we will close the public hearing for property tax state assessees. And thank you and your staff for meeting with our state assessees throughout the year.
Of course.
We'll go on to item 3, tax program matters, state assessed property board role changes. Mr. McCool.
Thank you, and just for the record, Jack McCool, Chief, State Assessed Properties Division. Revenue and Taxation Code Section 4876 allows for corrections of errors on the state assessed roll. I'm here to present one roll change to the state assessed roll for the 2023 roll. This correction is due to a staff processing error. Specifically, the assessee notified SAPD via a standard form of the termination of a lease for a specific parcel in Los Angeles County. Staff correctly removed the land value from our assessment roll and notified the county of the change in assessment jurisdiction. However, the value of the improvements at this location were not removed from the roll, which resulted in the error we are here to correct today. This roll change removes the assessed value of the improvements that should not have been on the 2023 state assessed roll. Upon the adoption of this change, SAPD staff will notify the county of the roll change, and the county will be responsible for processing any applicable property tax refunds. The state assessee will also receive notice of the roll change adopted by the board. I'm available to answer any questions you may have, and I ask for your adoption of this roll change for the 2023 state assessed roll. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, members? Okay. Seeing none, we can take a motion to approve the roll correction for the 2023 roll. Mr. Vasquez,
So moved.
like to move that. And Mr. Schaefer, would you like to provide a second on that?
He's muted.
I beg your pardon, Madam Chair?
Would you like to second the motion to approve the roll correction?
Yes, I would second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, the clerk has informed me that we do not have written comments nor any public comment appearance sheets from the Sergeant at Arms. So we will go ahead and check public comments from participants on the phone line. AT&T moderator, could you please let us know if there are any callers for item 3?
Thank you. If you would like to comment on item number 3, please press 10 at this time. 1 followed by 0. Madam Chair, there are no participants queuing up.
Okay, thank you. Members, we have a motion from Mr. Vasquez with a second by Mr. Schaefer to approve the roll correction for the 2023 roll. If there's no further discussion, we'll go ahead and have Ms. Cicchetti call the roll, please.
Ready? Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines is not present. Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Controller Cohen.
Aye.
Thank you so much, members. That item passes. And we'll go on to item 4, property tax matters, DCR Transmission LLC audit. Mr. McCool will be presenting on this item as well.
Thank you. Once again, Jack McCool, Chief, State Assessed Properties Division. The State Assessed Properties Division performs routine audits of state assessees under the authority of California Revenue and Taxation Code Section 828 and Government Code Section 15618. The purpose of a property tax audit is to determine the accuracy, completeness, and reliability of the financial data furnished by state assessees and used by the board in the valuation process. Audits also include an internal review of the methods, calculations, and assumptions used by the State Assessed Properties Division. Before you today for your consideration are 2 property tax audits completed by State Assessed Properties Division staff. The assessees have been presented with a copy of the audit report and were provided 30 days to review their audit report and provide additional information in response to the audit report. Upon adoption of each audit, the assessee will receive official notice of their value change and are provided 50 days in which they may file an appeal. Due to the confidential nature of the material used by staff to determine our recommended value changes due to the audit, we are limited to what can be discussed in today's public meeting and cannot discuss specific aspects of each audit. The first audit is for DCR Transmission LLC. DCR developed and operates a high-voltage transmission line connecting Arizona and California. DCR did contact SAPD staff during the 30-day review period. However, staff did not make any changes to the initial audit findings based on the additional interactions. Members, I ask for your adoption of the change in values as provided for the years 2024 and 2025 of the state assessed properties discovered on audit for DCR Transmission LLC.
Thank you, Mr. McCool. And members, the motion that we're looking for is to approve the change in values as provided for the years 2024 and 2025 of the state assessed properties discovered on audit of DCR Transmission LLC.
So moved.
Mr. Vasquez has moved.
I second.
Mr. Schaefer has seconded. And we do not have written communications relative to this item, nor any speaker cards from the auditorium. So we'll go ahead and go to our AT&T moderator. Moderator, if you would please let us know if there are any callers for item 4.
Please take this opportunity and press 1 followed by 0 to comment on item number 4. Please press 10 at this time. And there's no participants queuing up.
Thank you, moderator. Members, if there's no discussion, we'll go ahead and move towards the vote on a motion by Mr. Vasquez, seconded by Mr. Schaefer, to approve the changes in values as provided for the years 2024 and 2025 of the state assessed properties discovered on audit of DCR transmission. And we'll go ahead and go to the roll.
Okay, Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Mr. Gaines is absent. Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Controller Cohen.
Aye.
Thank you so much. That item passes, and we'll go on to item 5, property tax matters, U.S. Telepacific Corp. audit, and Mr. McCool will be presenting on this item as well.
Thank you. As Chair mentioned, the next audit is for U.S. Telepacific Corp. U.S. Telepacific is a managed services provider offering IT, cybersecurity, cloud, and data center services. U.S. Telepacific was provided a copy of their audit report. The assessee did not provide additional information during the 30-day review period. Members, I ask for your adoption of the change in values as provided for the years 2021 through 2024 of the state assessed properties discovered on audit for U.S. Telepacific Corp. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, we're looking for a motion to approve the change in values as provided for the years 2021 through 2024 of state assessed properties discovered on audit of U.S. Telepacific Corp.
So moved.
So moved.
Mr. Vasquez moves, and if I may take Mr. Schaefer's
Yes, Mr.
move as a
Schaefer
second,
moved.
please. Thank you.
Seconds. I said.
Thank you. We do not have any written comments, nor any public comment cards at this time, so we'll check for public comments with our AT&T moderator. Moderator, is there anyone who is hoping to make a comment on item 5?
Thank you. To comment on item number 5, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And no participants are queuing up. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, seeing no discussion, we'll go ahead and open the roll on the motion by Mr. Vasquez and the second by Mr. Schaefer.
All righty. Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines is absent. Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Controller Cohen.
Aye.
Thank you, members. That item passes. And we'll go on to item 6, our consent agenda, which is the board meeting minutes for March 25th, 2026. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes of
I would-
March 25th, 2026 board meeting.
Okay, we've got a motion by Mr. Vasquez and a second by Mr. Schaefer.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. We do not have written comments, nor do we have any public comment cards. So we'll go to the AT&T moderator. Moderator, could you please let us know if there are any callers for item 6?
As a reminder, to queue up for item number 6, please press 1 0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And Madam Chair, nobody is queuing up.
Okay, thank you very much. Seeing no further discussion, we can open the roll on this motion made by Mr. Vasquez and seconded by Mr. Schaefer.
All right, Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines is absent. Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Deputy Controller Emron.
Aye.
Thank you, members. That item passes, and we're prepared to go on now to item 7, board member matters, the 2025 County Assessor and Assessment Appeals Board AAB issues, and this is part 3 of the board work group minutes and report, and it'll be presented by Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. excuse me, and members, I just wanted, excuse me, giving a little bit of discussion, in February, the board held the third meeting of the 2025 Assessor AAB Issues Work Group with the focus on 3 specific issues. We received significant and substantial testimony from all of our participants, and as we present the minutes and report, I want to again acknowledge all the hard work which our stakeholders have put into this work group. As mentioned in my memo, there are 2 critical parts of this item, which I want to consider today. I will lay out the first and then discuss each one separately. Number 1, acceptance of the work group minutes and report. 2, the approval of the 3 detailed recommendations that I believe are important to adopt now. Regarding the minutes, as with previous work group records, the minutes contain a comprehensive list of the testimony and recommendations received from the speakers in order, and also references some of the written submissions we have received. I would like to see if there's any comments, questions, and if not, move to accept the minutes and the report, at least on the minutes here, if people are comfortable with that.
So that's a motion by Mr. Vasquez and seconded by Mr. Emron.
Yes, I would like to second and also just add how wonderful of a work group that was. We keep driving this, getting all the stakeholders involved. So Mr. Vasquez, much kudos to you and your whole entire team for bringing that together, and looking forward to continuing this work ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to say how much I appreciate all the work that you and your staff have put into this process, and also to our professional staff who have worked on it and provided insight as well, and the many, many stakeholders that have reached out to us over the past year. So I very much appreciate that. Members, we've got a motion by Mr. Vasquez, seconded by Mr. Emron, to accept the minutes and report for the board work group on AAB issues. And we do not have written comments on this today, nor do we have speaker cards from the auditorium. So we'll go ahead and go to our AT&T moderator for the first of these motions. And moderator, if you could let us know if there's anyone holding on the line who would like to make a comment relative to the minutes and report of the AAB's work groups.
Thank you. If you would like to comment on this item, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And Madam Chair, no participants are queuing up.
Okay, thank you. Members, we have a motion from Mr. Vasquez and a second by Mr. Emron to accept the minutes and report for the board work group. And so we'll go ahead and open the roll on that.
All right. Chair Lieber.
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines is absent. Member Vasquez.
Aye.
Member Schaefer.
Aye.
Deputy Controller Emron.
Aye.
Thank you, members. That item passes, and we'll go back to Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. Regarding the detailed recommendations, there are 3 recommendations which I have presented in detail in the report. They are: 1, during the next annual form review period, the executive director should consider the work group testimony to explore options for simplifying the assessment appeals application form to minimize taxpayer confusion and enhance the effectiveness of the form. The work group testimony reflected that there is support from the clerks, assessors, and taxpayer advocates for the concept of simplifying the appeals form. Participants also brought numerous specific suggestions, and those suggestions are memorialized in the work group report in their written statements. Importantly, all parties agreed that the efforts to simplify the form must be balanced against preserving the legal meaning and utility of the form. Rather than making specific line-by-line changes, approval of this recommendation would instead direct the executive director to consider the testimony and suggestions in performing the agency's annual review of the form and to make changes where appropriate. If people are comfortable with that, I'd like to make that as a second motion. And maybe ask the executive director, because these are just recommendations, and
Let's,
I'd love your input on this as well.
so we've got a motion, and Mr. Emron, would you provide the second? And we'll go to our executive officer, Ms. Towers.
Second, Ms. Chair.
Thank you, Member Vasquez. Yvette Stowers, Executive Director for the State Board of Equalization. That recommendation for me to consider the board work group testimony to explore options for simplifying the assessment appeal application form to minimize taxpayer confusion and enhance the effectiveness of the form. That seems to be a reasonable request. We will look at the form and try our best to balance the needs of the taxpayers, the needs of the clerks, and the needs of the assessors, with the understanding that to completely redesign the form, this is one of the comments that they made, if we completely redesign the form, the assessors will have to change their systems. So we would keep that in mind as well, and I'm more than willing to take on this project. Thank you.
Mr. Emron, did you have a question?
I did have a question, Madam Chair, and Mr. Vasquez, and Madam Executive Director. In regards to the timeline, it's like a 60 to 90-day review, you could report back?
No, we're gonna, I don't know when the actual calendar is when we review the forms. Give me a second. Carolyn? Mr. Young is not here today, so he would have been popping up. Can you share the normal timeline of when we review our forms?
Good morning, Carolyn Steeman, Principal Appraiser with the County Assessed Property Divisions. Typically, we meet with the CAA's Form Subcommittee usually at the end of the year, so December, January, we'll do an initial meeting with them, and we take suggestions from them for forms that they would like to see amended. We also incorporate amendments to any forms that would need changes due to recently passed legislation. After that meeting, our office does mock-up forms for them. We have another meeting again, generally around March. After the March meeting, we finalize all those amendments, and then we bring them to the board in May, and we adopt those by July.
Just because March already passed, and then January, there most likely is going to be a whole new set of board members, right? Other than just a few of us.
Correct.
Are we able to maybe call a special meeting?
That
Just so Mr. Vasquez can kind of see this through?
I think, keeping it to doing our normal annual form review is more appropriate. To call a special meeting that we won't, unless the board is directing me to change this form immediately, and then that would require me to change the workflow of our regular calendar events, and I would then say I don't have the capacity. But if we keep it on schedule to do it with our normal review, we could handle it. And I understand that we will have, by the time we have this revised form, it will reflect, we will have a new board, but at least two will be here.
I'm open. I'm just
And I'm
putting out
sure
to the
that those who are leaving will provide detailed notes for their predecessor too, and what your thoughts were. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate all the work that has gone into this, and I know that Mr. Vasquez is going to continue to dog this into the next term. And I will personally guarantee that he will be contacted, and that we would very much value hearing testimony. And I think, if you told people, oh, they were sitting here talking about forms, Well, there has been so much dysfunction for taxpayers and for the counties that flow from not collecting the right information that is needed in the best way possible on these forms. And, we're trying to make life easier for Californians here and make our county processes work well too. And so I very much appreciate Ms. Stowers, and I know that the forms have to go through the process of ensuring that they work for the disability community as well, and those kinds of things. But I appreciate your digging into this issue, and appreciate Mr. Vasquez deeply for bringing it forward, because sometimes it's the little things that mean a lot. And we've heard so much testimony from so many stakeholders during this year about what does not work about it. So that is very much appreciated. Okay, anything else to close on that one, Ms. Towers?
Not on this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And so we've got a motion from Mr. Vasquez and a second from Mr. Emron. Any further discussion on this one?
Just appreciate the fact that you're all willing to move on this thing as soon as possible. And I understand, there really wasn't a consensus on what to actually change, other than there was a consensus to simplify it. So appreciate everybody's push and diligence on this, because I know it's kind of tedious, but like the chair mentioned, it's something that I think can go a long ways in terms of expediting the process and hopefully making it easier for these counties.
Absolutely. Vice Chair.
Yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to thank Member Vasquez for bringing this forward. You've put a lot of work into it, and I would agree with the chair's comments in terms of making sure that we're listening to our constituents and the entities that are using these forms on a regular basis, and that the fact that we're actually looking at it and looking at making amendments to simplify it is, I think, just a key aspect of what we should be doing. So excited that we're moving forward with it, and that it may even carry over into the next term, but we'll have to see how that moves along. Great, thank you.
Great, thank you. So we've got a motion from Mr. Vasquez, second by Mr. Emron. We do not have any written comments nor speaker cards. So we'll go to our AT&T moderator and ask, moderator, is there anyone who's hoping to make a comment on the issue of forms and increasing the effectiveness of the information collection?
Thank you. If you would like to comment on this item, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And Madam Chair, nobody is queuing up.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move towards our roll call on this one.
Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines,
Aye.
Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Member Schaefer. Member Schaefer?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Deputy Controller Emron?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, members. That passes unanimously, and we'll go on to our third vote presented by Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. The next recommendation is the executive director should develop guidance, including a list of factors to be considered by AAB members in determining whether good, reasonable cause exists for the postponement or continuance of an appeal. The work group testimony reflected broad support for the proposed guidance. This would increase the guidance available to AAB members who may or may not have prior legal training. This can also provide appeal-specific factors which AAB members can apply in their decision-making. Importantly, the parties agreed that the guidance must be advisory in nature, acknowledge existing guidance and rules, and must preserve the discretion of the AAB to make that decision. If I'd include that in the next motion.
Okay, so on this one, you'd like to move to direct the executive director to develop guidance, including a list of factors to be considered
Yes.
by AAB members in determining whether good/reasonable cause exists for postponement or continuation of an appeal. Ms. Towers.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Vasquez, Chair Lieber, Yvette Stowers, Executive Director. For this item, I would like for Chief Counsel to comment.
Okay. While he's coming up, if we could take a second, because we're just right in the middle of the motion.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Emron,
I would like to second the motion, Madam Chair.
thank you. Mr. Moon.
Good morning, Richard Moon. Chief Counsel, I just wanted to give you just sort of a little bit of the process that we're going to go through once the motion is taken and we're directed by Ms. Stowers. So the issue here is possible guidance on the definition of good cause. As you know, no such sort of detailed definition exists. It is in our rule. And so the possibilities and what we will be looking at is what form that guidance should take. Primarily, there would be two. One is through the letters to assessors, where we could kind of flesh things out. And the other, of course, is the regulatory guidance. The letter to assessors, I would, if I had to venture a guess, would take several months. The regulatory process, of course, is much longer. This would not be a Section 100 change, which means this would be a substantive change. And typically, that would involve, I would say at the fastest, about 1.5 years for us to do that. The regulatory change, of course, has the effect of law. The letter to assessors guidance does not. But it would be exactly that, just guidance that Assessment Appeals Board members would be able to look at and look at a list of factors, look at some of the definitions, the guidance that we use to make a determination. So those are sort of the differences in the guidance and the kinds of things that we would be weighing. And so, if you were to press me and say which way we think it should be done, because good cause is mentioned specifically in one of our rules, in Rule 323, that would probably be the way that we would lean. So, and I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Okay, thank you. And my question would be, is the motion that we have sufficient to encompass moving ahead with the regulatory process if needed, which I think I'm hearing you say would require a change in law, so
Yeah,
legislation that would be needed.
I think your motion would give us that flexibility. If you had wanted us to direct, if you wanted to direct specifically that a regulation be changed, then you could certainly make the motion that specific.
Okay. I think the motion right now is probably sufficient, and you would be coming back to us anyways with the further steps that might be needed.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair.
If I could just follow-up question. So can you tell me what is causing the change that has to go through the legislative process?
Yeah, so it's not exactly the legislative process, it's the regulatory process, which is overseen by the Office of Administrative Law.
Okay.
And the change here is that we are actually defining what good cause is. So even though the phrase good cause is mentioned in the rule itself, there's no statute that tells us what good cause is, and so that would be our definition. And so because we're defining what it is ourselves, it would need to go through that OAL process and through all of the sort of the rigors of the Administrative Procedures Act.
Okay. So it's because it's specific to BOE, because the term good cause is used in law and litigation all the time.
Yes, it would be
So
specific
what makes
to.
it, okay, so it needs to be unique to the BOE because of the way it would be interpreted.
Correct, and we're using our regulatory powers to create that definition.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Moon. And so we've got a motion from Mr. Vasquez, a second by Mr. Emron. We do not have any written comments, and we don't have any comment cards from the auditorium. So we will go to our AT&T moderator. Moderator, if you could please let us know if there's anyone holding on the line to make a comment on the development of guidance, including a list of factors to be considered to determine whether good/reasonable cause exists for a postponement or continuation.
Chair Lieber?
Excuse me, we're still,
Okay.
we're, no, thank you. We're hoping to make contact with the AT&T moderator.
Hey, I'm sorry, I was muted. Please press 10 to comment on this item. Please press 10. And Madam Chair, nobody is queuing up.
Thank you so much, moderator. And before we go on, I just wanted to express my thanks to Mr. Vasquez and staff and our professional staff on this one. The delays are really clogging the system there, and we want to make life better for taxpayers here in California, make it easier to be here. So having more illumination of those factors. So, Ms. Cicchetti, if you would please call the roll on the motion by Mr. Vasquez, seconded by Mr. Emron.
All righty. Chair Lieber?
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines?
Aye.
Member Vasquez?
Aye.
Member Schaefer?
Aye.
Deputy Controller Emron?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, members. That motion passes unanimously, and we have action item issue 3, possible board guidance to encourage scheduling coordination between county assessors and county clerks. Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. The next one is the board members should affirm existing guidance on agencies' scheduling, coordination, and encourage counties to share strategies and explore options to maximize the effectiveness of their scheduling process. Work group testimony reflected that the existing guidance provides flexibility to the counties as they develop the most effective working relationship between the clerks and the assessors on scheduling. Importantly, the existing guidance already states that the coordination between the clerks, assessors, is essential, as both parties are involved in every appeal. The coordination must be balanced against the clerk's ultimate authority over the schedule, as well as the distinction between the roles of those agencies. Based on the testimony, rather than requesting additional guidance with mandatory language, this recommendation would respectfully request that the board members affirm the BOE's existing guidance and encourage the sharing of strategies between counties to allow each county to find the most effective scheduling relationship. That would be my next motion.
Thank you. We have a motion from Mr. Vasquez. Vice Chair, would you like to second? Thank you so much. And any discussion on this one? I can share that I'm more than willing to go out to my 19 counties and send a letter building on the good input that you've gotten through the work group to talk about this as a high priority. And it really has been such a stumbling block for the AAB processes within each county. And so I think this will really help. And I know Vice Chair has 34 counties. And so he's going to have some additional mail merge there to do. But we're really in a position, I think, to be listened to by our counties because they know our role in providing revenue. And so we'll do everything in our power when this motion passes to be able to provide that help. And any other comments on this? We have a motion from Mr. Vasquez, seconded by Vice Chair Gaines. And so we do not have any written comments or any comment cards from the auditorium. So we will go to our AT&T moderator. And moderator, if you could let us know if there are any callers who would like to speak to this item.
If If you would like to speak on this item, please press 1-0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And no participants are queuing up.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Keddy, if we could call the roll on the motion by Mr. Vasquez, seconded by Mr. Gaines.
Chair Lieber,
Aye.
Vice Chair Gaines,
Aye.
Member Vasquez,
Aye?
Member Schaefer,
Aye.
Deputy Controller Emron.
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much, members. That carries unanimously. And Mr. Vasquez, would you like to close on the overall report and good
Yeah,
action?
And I actually have one last one here to request, if I could.
Oh,
And it's-
please.
It's regarding basically the next steps. Finally, in acknowledgement of the upcoming work group on intangibles, rather than requesting a fourth meeting, at this time, I intend to bring forward a final summary report. This report can provide suggestions for how the BOE can build off the strong foundation we've established in order to continue these important conversations with stakeholders who have shown a great deal of interest, as well as come back to some of the other issues within the purview of the work group. So at this time, there is no specific action requested for the next steps, but I want to once again express my appreciation for all the work group participants, as well as the staff who have made this project a success. Honorable members, at this point, I would welcome any input in any of these parts. And when we are done, I will try to lay out a motion at some point as we look forward, as we move forward with this. And I know the controller is working on the intangibles and the upcoming, when that comes up, to see what we can do to complement or support that as well. And you know what, along those lines, I don't know who handles our capital morning report announcements. I noticed that today it listed that we have, this is the first meeting of 2. And I don't know who we maybe need to get the word out so people don't try to log in or call in tomorrow, right? Thinking that there's a meeting.
And
More
I
out of
think,
courtesy, I'm thinking of the folks that might be listening.
yeah, I think that was maybe something that the morning report got a hold of a little bit early, and then
Oh,
it
is that
never kind of got out of the system. But we will be very mindful of that and submit information.
I don't know if there's something we can put out today, you know, letting people know. I was just thinking, I don't know how we do that information, get the information out.
Yvette Stowers,
Ms.
Executive
Stowers.
Director. For the first work group that was scheduled for tomorrow, we did cancel it last week.
That's
And
what I
we
thought.
did, and we did do a public notice that that meeting has been canceled. Many of our stakeholders were made aware of that, and it was actually identified in the Caltex newsletter that the meeting had been rescheduled. I'm not sure why the Capital Morning Report has outdated information, but we will, I will ask, give me a second. We will put an alert out on our social media channels to remind the public that that meeting has been rescheduled. Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
And it sounds like in a roundabout way, the stakeholders who are most likely to come would also be, who have been notified are also the people who would have a paid subscription to the morning report. So, but that will be forthcoming, that issue of the intangibles. And
Thank you.
anything further there?
That's it. Just wanted to close out with that. Unless other members or colleagues have any comments or suggestions. Appreciate all your support as well.
Yeah, I would just extend a big thank you to you and your staff and the many stakeholders who took part in this. And I think that this process has been a great example where the board may not have strict structural oversight, say, over the clerks, but we're able to use our good diplomacy with them to really get a better outcome for taxpayers. Because the AAB process has become very difficult over time. And I think it's very mystifying to individual taxpayers who are caught up in it. So I want to thank you again for leading this process, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. And I'm assuming Ted, Angelo, in his report later on, will talk about, I guess there's a bill, I was talking to my assessor, Jeff Prang, that might also help in this process moving forward, creating, I think, a commissioner, basically. We can get into that a little bit later.
Yes, definitely. Okay, well, members, we are going to take a 10-minute break. So if we may come back at 11:04, and we'll get right back into the rest of our business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Members, we're going to reconvene now. And we are ready to go on to item 8. And while we're just having a brief lag time here for our executive director's reports, Mr. Vice Chair, we didn't do our opening comments earlier out of respect for the fact that you weren't able to be here yet. But could we go back to that with the consent of the members? And we'll start with Mr. Gaines if you had any comments that you wanted to make.
I'd like to just comment in reference to the, I think, huge opportunity we have to recognize America and the 250th birthday of this great nation, and very excited about all sorts of celebrations that we're going to have throughout my district and throughout the state and throughout the nation. And if you just look back historically at what we have achieved, it's remarkable. It's not without blemish, but we've been able to endure through some of the challenges of this country, and I believe end up stronger for it. And so that's the beauty of living in a democratic republic, is that you always have opportunities to pivot and make adjustments, and that the people are well served in that respect. And I guess my hope looking out into the future would be that we would remain sound financially. I worry very much about our debt, and it's not, I guess I should say it's both sides of the aisle's fault in terms of what we have allowed to happen. And my hope would be that there would be some common sense in the Congress, and that we would get a handle on that so that we could remain a nation, because many nations fall because of their lack of fiscal responsibility. And we have an obligation to the future generations to make sure that we're not only morally sound, but that we are financially sound. And hopefully, in the end, we'll do the right thing. I think Churchill had that comment about America, that it may take a while, but ultimately, in the end, we Americans make the right decisions, to paraphrase. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. I'd like to just highlight several observances this month. First, I want to note that the pioneer, excuse me, that pioneering labor and civil rights leader Dolores Huerta celebrated her 96th birthday on April the 10th. You know, we're expanding over 70 years, 70 years. She secured landmark protections for workers, including California's Agricultural Labor Relations Act of 1975, led national boycotts for better wages, and pioneered grassroots organizing to empower Latinos and women. And this woman, every time I see her at an event, she's so full of energy. I hope I could walk when I'm 97, let alone get me involved. Next, I want to highlight the National Public Health Week, which was observed earlier this month from April 6th to the 12th, with the theme Ready, Set, and Action, emphasizing taking actionable steps towards improving community health. I am pleased to announce that the City of Santa Monica's Big Blue Bus Transit Agency is taking such steps through a zero-emissions fleet and charging infrastructure expansion project that will power the city's transition to fully electric bus system. Supported by $56 million investment, the initiative will include the deployment of 73 zero-emission battery electric buses, along with the charging infrastructure needed to support a fully electric fleet of 195 vehicles by 2032. This initiative will contribute to both improved public health outcomes and more equitable access to clean, reliable transportation for the community. Now, I would like to briefly mention that this is also National Fair Housing Month, which is recognized every April to commemorate the passage of the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which prohibits housing discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, family status, and disability. This observance is crucial in educating the public on housing rights, promoting inclusive communities, and combating discrimination in lending, renting, and home sales. Next, a brief note on Earth Day, celebrated today to not only increase awareness of environmental problems, but also to encourage each of us to do what we can to improve our environment. Since it was first celebrated on April the 22nd, 1970, Earth Day has become a global platform that mobilizes over 1 billion people annually to advocate systemic changes. And then last but not least, celebrate Administrative Professionals Day. Today, I want to thank all our dedicated and capable, valuable administrative employees throughout the BOE agency, which, have been really helpful, especially for a lot of my hearings. I know I've probably created some headaches for you folks, but I just wanted to thank you for all your support and help throughout those hearings. And with that, I'll turn it back over to our chair.
Thank you. Mr. Schaefer, did you have opening comments that you wanted to make?
Yes, yes. First, want to welcome Ted to the meeting. I was wearing my tie this morning, decided when you showed up looking like $1 million, I was going to put on my coat and join the club. As comments this morning, I'd like to repeat the commemoration of the 96th birthday of Dolores Huerta. She certainly come into her just due. She appeared at my inauguration installation back in 2019, and I've been in touch with her ever since. She happens to have 11 children, a son or grandson that have been running for county supervisor in the Bakersfield area, so she's continuing her public service through her family. A meeting wouldn't be a meeting without me mentioning a birthday. Today is the 100th birthday of Queen Elizabeth II. Our late Queen Elizabeth, we lost in 2022. It's also the birthday of Glenn Campbell, who we lost in 2017. You know him for Rhinestone Cowboy, Wichita lineman, and by the time I get to Paris, or get to Phoenix rather, well, I was thinking of Paris. I'd also like to mention this is Jack Nicholson's 89th birthday, and he's still with us. I'm very proud of all the work we're doing, and thank you for permitting me to have a comment today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Emron.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just in the line of the birthdays, I'd like to wish our chair and our vice chair a happy early birthday to you both. Madam Chair, it's just such an honor. I know you're a Michigan gal, but we adopted you here in California. And we want you to stay here forever and just continue to do the amazing work you do. And I'm so honored to work alongside you here at the Board of Equalization and at the Franchise Tax Board. You're just an amazing person for your constituents and an amazing fighter as well. And then Vice Chair Gaines, what an honor to get to know you here on and off the dais, your knowledge, your wisdom, and your passion also for your 34 counties and your 10 million constituents does not go unnoticed. And I just hope that you all enjoy your birthdays and enjoy the blessings of life as we continue on this great year of 2026. So happy birthday to you both. And I'd also like to recognize in regards to the new year, the controller and I got to host a Songkran New Year. It was the Thai New Year's, also recognized by the Cambodian and Laos community. It was really incredible. It was actually my first time participating in this. And it's marked by a water festival, symbolizing the washing away of misfortune and welcoming of the renewal and good fortune in the year ahead. And it's a reminder of the thriving communities here in California, the diversity, the traditions, the culture. And although we celebrated just for the first or second year, this time around, these cultures and traditions have been around for thousands and thousands of years. So it's awesome that we get to partake in these festivals and learn about each other a little bit more. Also, Earth Day is an important day, and it happens to be right here on this Board of Equalization Day, Earth Day, and this idea that clean air, water, and environmental justice is not just a cause, it's a human right that everyone, no matter who you are, what zip code you grew up in, everyone deserves to have access to clean water, and your zip code does not determine or predate the age that you will live on. So on this earth, that we recommit ourselves to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment, affirming what we have long known, that where you live should not determine whether you breathe clean air or drink safe water. And here in California, I'm very proud, the controller is as well, to carry on these traditions of carbon neutrality, of 100% electric grid. But we also know that as we transition, a lot of the burden of pollution and climate risk falls disproportionately on our low-income communities, on our communities of color. So Earth Day is a call to action, not just for individuals, but for institutions like the State Board of Equalization, to consider how the policies we execute and the decisions we make connect to the health and well-being of every Californian. And then I would like to end here. This month of April was really a blessed time, and it was truly rare and beautiful that Easter, Eid, and Passover all converged within days of one another. It was a remarkable and uncommon alignment of the three of the world's great faith traditions: Christians celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, Muslims marking the end of Ramadan with gratitude and feasting, and Jewish families gathering around the Seder table in remembrance and hope, all at nearly the same moment. Whatever one's faith or no faith at all, there is something very profound about this convergence. Each of these observances, in its own way, center on themes of liberation, renewal, and the power of community. They remind us that across different traditions and different journeys, we are all trending towards the same thing: family, reflection, gratitude, and care for one another. So this is truly a blessed time, and a reminder that our diversity is not a dividing line, it is a source of strength. And that reminds me, Madam Chair, I was gonna hold until the end of the meeting, but I also would like to pay an in memoriam to Tulare County Sheriff Detective who was shot and killed on April 9th in Porterville, California. Detective Randy Hopper. He was 35 years old. He was serving an eviction notice, and unfortunately, he ended up losing his life. He was a husband and a father. He had a baby on the way. And it's just a big prayer, because when I heard the news, it was very sad and shocking, and nobody should ever have to lose their life on their job, protecting their community, serving their community. So I want to pray for the entire Tulare County, to the family of Mr. Hopper. May you rest in peace, and may your memory live on forever. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Emron, in particular.
Madam Chair, I had a comment.
Excuse me, Mr. Schaefer, please.
Yes, I want to apologize for missing Ted's birthday. I know I made a big issue of the 3 birthdays happening on the board last December, and I want to let Ted know I was thinking of you today. If you're going to be having a birthday, that makes you a special person. I want to especially thank each member of the board for last month's dialogue, where you all gave me some kind thoughts. I printed that out. It's one of my souvenirs of public service. I thought it was very kind, and I want to let you know, each one of you, I appreciate your participation in the greeting that is now part of our official records in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Vice Chair, did you have comments?
No, thank you very much. That's kind of you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Schaefer, and we really hold Mr. Schaefer in esteem every day here, and you have made your imprint on California government, and I'm so pleased to know that our comments were worthwhile to print out and to save in your archive of special things. I think that's really fantastic. And thank you, Mr. Emron, for your comments, and really appreciate everything that everyone has said here today. And I also wanted to recognize Earth Day being today. We had a very moving evocation of the importance of our planet from the astronauts who circumnavigated the moon and got to see the dark side of the moon. And their comments, which have been amplified by my chief deputy, Doug Winslow, who couldn't be here today due to getting that cold that's going around. But that, we're all fellow travelers on this one small blue and green, very beautiful lifeboat in the midst of a dark, cold, and silent space. And so obviously anything that we can do to retain the beauty of our planet and to retain our resources and to get along a little bit easier with our species mates and make their lives easier. You know, we're, all of us who are members here are in a very powerful position to try to ease people's lives and make them better. And anything that we can do in that regard really helps a lot, because we all have got one planet and we need to get along as one species there, and just try to be kind and reach out to others and be less harsh. I have had the experience in my life of being able to go and be a refugee relief worker over the period of 3 years. And war just has a lot of devastations, whether it's here at home in households or in hot wars around the globe, and the refugees that come out of that really horrific process. So whatever we can do to make our world a little gentler and a little less abrupt and violent is such a great investment in who and what we are and our position in things. And so I thank everyone here for the work that you do on behalf of our shared constituents every day, because that's really what it's all about, is just if you can make someone's life a little bit better, why not go ahead and do it? And so we're going to go ahead and do that right now by moving on to item 8, where we hear from our very capable Executive Director, Yvette Stowers, and receive the good word from her.
Good morning. Yvette Stowers, Executive Director for the Board of Equalization. Good morning, Chair Lieber and honorable members. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment and acknowledge that today is Administrative Professionals Day. On this day, we recognize and celebrate the work of administrative assistants and all office professionals for their contribution to the workforce. With its roots going back to National Secretaries Week in 1952, we are long reminded that we place an enormous amount of trust in our administrative professionals every day. They help manage some of our most important relationships. We value their judgment. We rely on their expertise, and we appreciate their continued dedication to the organization. To all of my staff and yours who help ensure our workplace is efficient and our organization is successful, a big thank you. And a big thank you to Ms. Jessica Hayes, my administrative assistant, who does process your travel claims. So you should be very grateful for her. So thank you, Ms. Hayes, in the future, and your future change of last name. Congratulations. My report today will be brief, as this month's focus on the various quarterly reports that will be presented by my executive team as part of today's agenda. There was one recent event that was attended by BOE that I would like to highlight. Last week, the Spring 2026 California Assessors Association Conference was held in Riverside County from April 13th through the 16th. Deputy Director David Young of the Property Tax Department participated in a panel discussion covering various topics, including the 2025 state assessment season, assessment appeals, the survey program, legislation that passed in 2025, and an update on our voice over internet jurisdiction, voice over IP jurisdiction. Board member offices were also represented at this conference, including another staff member from my office, Ms. Carolyn Steinman. I would like to thank the CAA, particularly the Riverside County Assessor, for hosting this year's conference and for inviting BOE to attend and participate. Working in partnership with the assessors is critical to our mission. The next CAA conference is scheduled for August 3rd through the 7th in Napa County. The next item I would like to report on is our budget change proposals. As I shared with you guys last month, we have two BCPs pending. One, the IT modernization project, and SB 2293 implementation. Hopefully you did receive the fact sheet on the BCPs. I would like to thank the team, especially Mr. Taylor, for putting together the fact sheet. And hopefully you guys find it helpful when you're out speaking with legislators on why it's important to have the fact sheet, on why it's important that this BCP goes through. I kind of would like to highlight the IT modernization project. This project, we have an urgent need to move forward with this project. We're not asking for a lot, 3.2 million in 26-27 and 3.1 million in 27-28. Why does this matter? We're dealing with a system that's 35 plus years old, is no longer supported. During our evaluation season, from down through May, in the past, we've had 32 near system failures. At the critical point of when we're trying to get the values, this 35-year-old system fails us. And then most importantly, the workforce to maintain this system, this 35-year-old system, they're all retired. And those who are being trained in technology, they don't train in this system anymore. So we cannot support it. What's at risk? Funding for our schools. If we don't get this value right, we don't get funding for our schools, our kids, our future. The state general fund, if we don't get it right, and the funding drops for our schools, Prop 98 requires the state to do the backfill. We already have a deficit. What we do, there's no alternative entity that can do it. All due respect to our sister agency, the Franchise Tax Board, they're income tax experts. They're not value-setting experts. All due respect to California Department of Tax and Fee, they're sales and use tax experts. They are not value-setting experts. All due respect to Department of Real Estate, they issue license. They are not value-setting experts. We are the experts, and we need to have a system that allows us to continue to strive. What we're looking for, a secure cloud-based system with e-filing, automatic calculations and fewer errors, stronger cybersecurity and data integrity, faster processing and valuation improvement. And with that, we'll be able to redirect staff to additional work that we should be addressing. Audits, whether it's an audit that increases the value or decreases the value. It's important to do audits. It's a compliance check. And we need to have that. As one of my colleagues say, we need to have that cop on the road to make sure you're not speeding. So the bottom line is, with this BCP, the manual work that we're doing, the data entry that the professional appraisers are doing, that will go down 98%. The audits will go up, accuracies will go up, and delays will go down. So hopefully you guys find the fact sheet very helpful. So when you're at the Capitol speaking with legislators, you can continue to advocate for it. Thank you. That is my report on item 9.8. I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that 3.1 million ask is for an upgraded computer system for BOE?
Yes, it's not just a computer, it's to change, you know what? Mr. McCall, or which one of you guys want to go through this process? These are the project leaders, Ms. Venati, Ms. Taylor, and Mr. McCall, so they could best.
Wonderful.
For the record, Lisa Renati, Chief Deputy Director. This is a replacement of our legacy state-assessed board roll system.
Okay.
So it's been in operation for decades, and we're now replacing it. We've been working on this for a couple years. The project, I've given you some updates throughout the year, 2 years. And we are really moving forward, and right now we're just about to complete Stage 3 of the project approval life cycle. You'll hear it called PAL a lot, Project Approval Life Cycle. And we're working with the California Department of Technology. Once we finish PAL Stage 3, then we will release a request for proposal, which is RFP. You'll hear that a lot. And that means it'll go out to the public, and we will ask for different vendors to bid on a system. We've had significant planning and collaboration with, we have a project manager from CDTFA that's working with us to make sure that, his name is Harry. He's amazing, and he's been helping us to make sure whatever we do attempt to purchase, that we will be able to integrate it and that they will be able to support it. Our system that we're looking for will be something that will not require a lot of updates of people helping us. We're going to hopefully be able to do it all ourselves. And there's lots of initiatives within it for e-file for taxpayers, which will be really easy for them. It'll also keep us from data entry. It's going to improve reliability, processing, much quicker system and more accurate system. So.
Great.
So all the things that you would want in a system that wasn't built, 40 years ago.
Sure.
And it's also cloud-based, so.
So when I had the opportunity to serve on the franchise tax board, they took me through the whole, I took a few hours and we went through all the different tasks of the FTB, and they talked about how they are upgrading their computer system, and it takes years to do it.
Yeah.
But they seem like actually a shining example of the right way to do it. And believe me, there's plenty of examples that we saw in the legislature where they failed, and they failed miserably. So, and we've talked about this in the past too, but I just want to make sure that we're going through this in the right way so that we're a shining example of how government can actually work right when we make these sort of transitions. And when with your update, talking about people retiring, do we have the right people in place to patch the system until we get the approval for the funding and then
We
the actual
do.
replacement?
Thank you for the question. Maybe kind of back up. Yes, FTB has a system there on their EDR. Is it 2 or 3 now? 3. And it's been a long-term project for them. And they adopted a model of crawl, walk, run. And I've studied their model, and we're doing the same thing.
They said that they had been helping BOE. That's what they had indicated to me. Was there?
We did reach out to FTB.
Okay, you
As a
reached out to
sister
them.
agency
Okay.
to understand what they were doing and to basically get the best of the best. But we do have a very strong project manager with Harry, who is technology-based, and then a team who's running this project, and this is what's really important, is Mr. McCall, Jack, our chief. He runs state assessees, and he is hands-on with the project. He's hands-on, Mr. Young's hands-on, Ms. Taylor's hands-on, and Ms. Renati's hands-on.
Right.
And every staff within the state assessees are aware of it, and they are embracing it. So yes, we have the right people in place.
Good.
And we are working with California Department of Technology.
Right.
And that's when Ms. Renati talked about the PAL process. They're looking at it, and they're reviewing everything, and they're providing suggestions on what we should and should not be doing.
Okay.
And although it's not a lot of money, basically $6 million over 2 fiscal years,
Okay.
it is still really important that we succeed. And I'm confident that we will succeed.
Great. Excellent. And we do have, you had mentioned that the folks that were working on the system have retired. So we have, do we?
Well, let me back up. When I said retired, I was talking about the old system, the system that we use, the mainframe COBOL,
Okay.
COBOL. Those individuals who had that skill set, they weren't BOE employees, first of all. But they were CDTFA employees.
Okay.
And they have retired. And as CDTFA hires more people in technology, those who are going to college for technology degrees, they're not studying
Yes,
this system
that's
because it's 40 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have the appropriate people in place to maintain the system we have until we get the new.
Yes, we have the
implemented.
appropriate people in place to maintain the system. We have various workarounds
Yes,
when the system crashes, but we need to stop these workarounds and have a really effective system.
great.
But we have the people, we will get our jobs done when it comes to value setting. That guaranteed, we will get it done.
very
It may be, the next 2 years still manual processing.
Right,
They may have to do some overtime, but we will get it done.
excellent. Okay, very good, thank you.
Other questions? Mr. Imran?
I love the
Madam
confidence.
Chair,
Executive Director.
We'll come right to you in just a moment, Mr.
Thank you.
Schaefer.
And I appreciate you taking this on. I got to join you in the legislature on both the Assembly and the Senate side. The legislatures were also very positive in their remarks about getting this done too. So as we transition, are we going to become less paper-based as we improve our technology here at BOE?
Yes, that is the goal. That is the goal, that our state assessees won't be sending us paper files. It will be more electronic, yeah. Less paper-based is always good.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Schaefer?
yes, Ms. Stars, you were at the Riverside Conference recently, were you?
I'm sorry?
Were you at the Riverside Assessors meeting this last week?
No, sir, I did not attend the conference. I'm kind of limited on my travels, overnight stays these days, because I'm caring for my elderly mom.
Did
But
any of
Mr.
our?
Young was there. He was there,
Pardon me?
and
Who was there? I didn't get the name.
Mr. David Young attended the conference, and
Right, none of our members were there.
no, Member Vasquez attended the conference.
Oh, good. You mentioned one coming up in August. Is that August 4th to 7th in Napa? Did I hear that right?
1 second, please.
Thank you.
The next conference is August 3rd through the 7th in Napa County. Once they do their official announcement and allow it to register, I will send the members and your staff the registration information that you will be able to register for the conference. As
Sure,
usual.
that's what I wanted. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Vasquez?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for your report, Executive Director Stowers. And I'm getting a little bit of an echo, so I think you kind of touched on it, but I know when you testified on the budget, I guess it was the budget possible changes here. Do we have any updates on those when you presented that?
It's still with the committee. I'm hoping that it will remain with the committee, and when we get the governor's May revise, that those BCPs will continue to be in his May revised budget.
And going back to the conference, when I was there, several of the assessors came up to me and really wanted to thank the board, for just involving them in a lot of our hearings and stuff moving forward. And they were asking actually about the intangibles coming up, and I told them, I said that I'm sure the controller will reach out, because some of them felt like they hadn't had a chance to at least express their points of view. So just wanted to share that with the controller as well. I know when you do schedule it, I said, I'm sure they'll reach out to you. That's been our past practice, to make sure we include all stakeholders in this.
Yeah. I received some of the similar comments that Mr. Imran has too, and Mr. Imran has assured me that there will be a reach out to the CEA president, and the CEA president, like in the past, will push it down to those who would like to participate. And some of the assessors did reach out directly to my office, and we did forward those contact information to Mr. Imran, and he did reach out as well.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Vasquez and Executive Director Stowers. Looking forward to a great June meeting ahead, full speed ahead. We're still going to get this done this year. Just taking a little bit more time to make sure everyone comes to the table. Assessors are closing out their roles, and it's quite a busy time in the Capitol with the budget. Came from the Capitol this morning, and the place is buzzing. It's the last week of committee hearings, so the June meeting is full speed ahead. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And I just wanted to add a note of thanks for all of the staff that are involved in the technology project. It's now abundantly clear that we need to do this, and I think we've gotten all the value out of the legacy system that we possibly could. And the FTB has now completed their technology migration, and it was very, very successful. And sometimes I think that not enough people realize the importance of the state assessed properties and of keeping that function moving efficiently. So thank you for your good work on it, and we'll be watching the BCP process and hoping for the best so that it doesn't have to be a full force effort in May, but appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That concludes my report for item 8.
Item 8, and we'll go on now to item 9, which is extension of time to complete local assessment rolls.
Members, Revenue and Taxation Code, Section 616, requires county assessors to annually complete their local assessments rolls by July 1st. Section 155 provides that the board or its executive director may extend by 30 days the deadline for an official act by the assessor. In the case of public calamity, the deadline may be extended by 40 days. Section 155 also requires that the executive director inform the board of such extension at its next regular meeting. This report is to inform you that Mariposa and Sierra County assessors have requested and been granted a 30-day extension to complete their 2020-25 local assessment roll. Members, that concludes my report, and I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Members, any questions on this one? Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Mr. Schaefer, please.
Yes, Ms. Towers, it's required by law that we be informed of this.
Yes, sir. The statute requires that if I grant an extension, that I inform the board members at the following board meeting. Otherwise, we could defer, I can defer not granting the extension and bring it to the board and have the board approve it. But.
Right, well, I would, my preference would be that it be approved not by the board and that we not be informed, but we don't have that discretion.
No, you don't have that discretion. I mean, in your oversight
I mean,
role,
you-
I think that members would like to know if their county is requesting an extension. And let me say this, although counties routinely request an extension, they still complete the roll by the July 1st date. They just do this just in case, what? The system fails on them. Their system fails, so this is more of this covering their bases, but they generally get it done on July 1st.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Towers. And with your permission, we'll go on to item 10, the BOE annual report overview. Ms. Towers.
We could go to item 10. It's going to be a long report. It's okay? Okay. Okay. Let me go to my other page. Okay. Item 10, the 2024-25 BOE annual report. Everyone should have a copy at the dais. And I sent a soft copy last week. Lovely. Okay, members, we recently published the 2024-25 fiscal year annual report as required by Government Code Section 15616. The board submits the report annually to the governor. This year cover features San Diego coastline. You'll see that the location labeled on the front cover, along with similar labels throughout the report, identifying California's landmarks used in this publication. Oh, I wish I was in San Diego right now. I really do like this cover. We had a little session on which cover to pick. And I thought, I want to be at the beach. Okay, slide 2. As in prior years, this annual report provides an overview of the board and its responsibilities. It also highlights our mission, vision, and core values. The report includes a profile of the BOE constitutional and statutory responsibilities for overseeing California property tax system, as well as administering the alcoholic beverage tax and co-administering the tax on insured program. The report is also known as Publication 306 and is available on our website. The report, as I said earlier, is required to be sent to the governor's office, which we will do, or we have done. And we also will be sending reports over to select committees. We have tax committees. We have tax, yes, several committees that we felt that they should have the report as well. And then you have some that you may take to your district. Let's turn to page 12 of the report to take a top line state and county assessed values for the fiscal year. Okay. The statewide assessed value, net of all exemptions, for 2025 lean year reached an historical high of $9.1 trillion, an increase of 4.6% over the prior year. That total includes $9 trillion in county assessed property, primarily residential and commercial, and another $165 billion in BOE state assessed property. State assessed property includes telephone, gas, electric companies, independent power producers, regulated railroads, intercompany pipelines directly assessed by BOE, and intercompany pipelines directly assessed by BOE. I also like to note the strong work of our BOE state assessment team, which contributed to a $12.3 billion increase in value for 2024. That's that same state assessed team that's using that 35-year-old system. Next slide. The work we do here, whether it's overseeing the assessment practice of the state's 58 county assessors, who establish values for more than 13 million assessments each year, or conducting our own assessments of utilities and railroads, this work helps ensures a stable and reliable source of funding for our schools and local government. For our schools, our future. On page 17 of the report, you will see that in 2024, property tax revenue exceeded $100 billion. Of that, 53.5 cents of every dollar, about $53 billion, goes to our schools. The remaining $46.5 billion is distributed to counties, cities, and special districts. This is why the work of the board matters so much. It must be timely, it must be accurate, because the impact is local. It's the schools, it's the local fire departments, it's law enforcement, all who depend on this stable source of revenue. I also want to take a moment to highlight the connection to the state general fund. Excuse me, please. Anybody have any water? While the state does not rely on property tax as a direct revenue source, state law under Proposition 98 guarantees a minimum level of funding for schools. When local property tax revenues fall short, the state must backfill using general fund. This is why our work is so important. We are safeguarding the general fund while ensuring fair, effective, and efficient tax administration. Thank you. Sure. Slide 5. Going back to page 13, you will find a map that shows the assessment roll for 58 counties, including both county and state assessed property values. The lighter shade of green represents the lower total value, beginning with Sierra County at just over $84 million in net assessed property value. The darker shade of green represents Los Angeles County, with more than $2.2 trillion as of January 1st, 25 lien date. I think there's a group called the lighter shade of green, an R&B group. Together, all 58 counties make up the historical $9.1 trillion in state assessed value. Our next map on page 14 shows the average property tax rate by county for the 2024-25 fiscal year. This also is a good time to note for those who may be watching or listening that Proposition 13, approved by the California voters in 1978, I don't think I was voting yet, limits the base property tax rate to 1% of assessed value. So the base rate is 1%. And then for those counties that's slightly over 1%, is due to local voter-approved bonds, special assessments, and fees that promotes school improvement, infrastructure, or fire protection. For this fiscal year, Modoc and Sierra counties, shown in the light purple, has an average rate of 1%. The next tier in light blue begins with Monterey County at 1.099% and goes up to Sonoma County at 1.139%. They are followed by green tier, which range from Contra Costa at 1.151 to Salona at 1.179%. The highest rate are shown in dark blue, starting with Los Angeles County at 1.181%, reaching Kern County at 1.248%. These are county-wide averages. Today, our tax area service section maintains more than 9,700 revenue district boundaries encompassing over 62,000 in tax rates areas. Thank you so much. It's hot up here. So I talked about the tax rate is 1%. Locals it can go up a little bit more based on local ordinance and laws that the voters approved. And just a reminder that when it comes to valuing property at the county level, it's limited to 2% each year, unless there's a change in ownership or what, new construction. State assessed is different. State assessed property is not subject to Prop 13. The team value them at fair market value every year, with that same outdated system. Okay, going on to slide 7, let's talk about some exemptions. Moving to page 15 in the report. This table summarizes qualifying exemptions for the 2024-25 roll year. The largest category is charitable nonprofits, which had an exemption value of nearly $181 billion. The low-value property exemption totaled $162 million, similar to last year. In total, exemptions values exceeded $379 billion, an increase of 3.7% over the prior years. Members, I know you know, but just a reminder, the charitable nonprofit exemptions, a lot of that is affordable housing, welfare exemption. The low-value property is the property that the value is so low, based on the city ordinance, that the county does not assess it. Other exemptions includes property tax exempted by the legislator, such as cemeteries, certain golf courses, growing crops, hospital, aircraft, and some museums. And as I pointed out that, there is an increase, especially in the charitable nonprofit. And that increase, people are looking to have more affordable housing. But also, I have to give kudos to our welfare exemption unit, because we co-administer that with the assessors. And we have made some great process improvements and getting those organization clearances certificates out in a timely fashion. So that's another reason why you see the increase. You also see an increase when it comes to disabled veterans. The assessors and their team, especially San Diego, has done an excellent job of promoting the disabled veterans exemption. San Diego has a lot of veterans. I think, Chair Lieber, you have also done a good job, and you have a great deal of veterans in your district as well. So kudos to everyone who's really pushing this exemption, because we need to support our veterans. Moving on, the next page in our report, page 16. This page summarizes the total impact of the programs we oversee and administer or co-administer in supporting California communities. In total, these programs contribute $103.9 billion to state and local government, an increase of 5.1% over the prior year. On the left side, you'll see $3.9 billion that goes directly to the state's general fund. The largest share comes from the tax on insured program of $3.5 billion, which is up by 9.4%. The alcoholic beverage tax revenue was $415 million, down slightly by 0.7%. largely reflecting lower statewide demand. We also collected $12 million in private railroad car taxes, an increase of 17.9%. Earlier, I mentioned that roughly $100 billion in property tax revenue resulting from the state and county assessed values. Of that, $97.2 billion comes from county assessed property, up by 4.9%. State assessed property totaled $2.8 billion, an increase of 7.7%. It is also worth noting that the BOE operate with over just 190 staff. Today, we are a lean, efficient organization, and I'm very proud of the work that this team does. When you look at the full impact of $103.9 billion contribution, it is truly remarkable return delivered by a dedicated and efficient workforce. Thank you, team. Going on to slide 9, speaking of accomplishments, I'd like to highlight for you some of the key stats found on page 5 through 8 in our annual report. Much of the work, especially overseeing the assessment practices across the 58 counties, is not always known to the public. But when you consider the scale of the responsibility and the fact that it's carried out by a team of just 190, the level of accomplishment each year is truly impressive. I won't read each stat to you. You'll find the full detail in the report. But I do want to pause on each slide for a moment so the scale of this work really comes through. Starting with reconducted compliance audits and resulted in 8 assessment survey reports representing hundreds of hours reviewing the county assessors' practices and procedures and their statutory and regulatory compliance. So we call them surveys with their audits. And the team goes out there and they look at the practices of the assessor's office and make sure that they are following the right rules. This is a key role in our oversight. They meet with the assessors, they discuss their findings, they provide the assessors with an opportunity to provide comments. And Ms. Cooper's going to be up here in a little while, so I don't want to steal her glory, but she's going to report out on some of these surveys. But they're truly important, and I want to say, we did 8 this past fiscal year, and we're starting a survey program now for more. And there's been a change in law. I'm going to make this pitch to those who are listening. Before, we had 2 years to get the reports done. Now we have 1 year. So, and we have to do more. So we're going to have to get them done in 1 year, and we're going to have to audit the assessor's offices every 5 years. More done, we have to do more, it's faster, but guess what? We're going to need some resources. As simple as that. We're working on it. Okay, we spent 1,000 hours co-administering the wealth exemption program with the county assessors, issuing 909 organizational clearance certificates and 344 supplemental clearance certificates. And again, that's due to great work in that team, revamping that program. Our administration of the Legal Entity Ownership Program, or LEOP as we call it, identified 860 change in control and ownership of legal entities, leading to the reassessment of more than 13,000 parcels. Adding to that, our small but mighty training team continues to stay busy. Last year, we trained 2,466 students across 35 separate events, issuing more than 300 certificates to appraisers and analysts, including newly elected county assessors. 300 certificates, that's a lot. That means I signed 300 certificates. It's the best part of my job. As an advisory agency, we also answered nearly 10,000 calls, mainly relating to Prop 19, and responded to nearly 10,000 written inquiries, including letters, emails, and faxes. So when we get these calls and inquiries, they're coming from multiple sources. A lot of them are coming from the assessor's office, but there's also the public and professionals who are asking us questions. On to slide 12. On the state assessed side of the house, the $165 billion of direct BOE assessed property value, which generated $2.8 billion for schools and local governments, reflects the work of physically inspecting and valuing nearly 10,000 land parcels every year per market value. Can only imagine when we do our work, or as we're doing our work now for voice over internet protocol. In addition, this team processed more than 200 jurisdictional boundary changes to keep over 9,700 revenue district boundaries encompassing 62,000 tax rates, current and accurate. The effort alone sent $311,000 to the state general fund. And all of this with just over 190 team members. I am constantly astonished at the volume of work that this team produces each year. And I remain extremely proud to represent this dedicated team of public servants, just as I know you all do too. Members, I would like to close with a photo of your 2025 annual meeting with county assessors. That was a really good meeting. I spent some time highlighting the scope of the work this agency managed, but I want to be clear, this work is not done in a silo. California property tax system depends on close collaboration with all 58 county assessors to support a stable source of funding for schools and local community services. The annual report reflects the critical work we do together to deliver a system that is fair, transparent, and consistent for all Californians. Members, that concludes my overview, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Vice Chair, did you have a question?
I was looking on AI here to try to figure out what the rate of inflation's been in California since 2019 to the year of this annual report. And I don't know how accurate it is, but, and maybe Jack could help me with some of these numbers too. But I'm just trying to figure out, it looks like, if I've done my math right, that our assessed value has increased about 38% from 2019, that's when we were sworn in, to 9.1 trillion, which is, I think, a 38% increase. And inflation, I was trying to adjust that a little bit because this goes to early 2024, and we're fiscal year 24-25, so I added another 3% in, but I was coming up with about 23% inflation, 38% increase in value, so it looks like it's a net increase in value of about 15% over that time frame. And is that ballpark?
I think that sounds reasonable. I mean, you're kind of using AI and.
I know.
It's
But are we just keeping pace with inflation, or are values actually increasing faster than the rate of inflation. Because when we look at property tax revenue generated, then in real dollars, the amount of tax revenue generated is increasing. And I know we have a lot of variables because some of this is determined by the BOE, some of it's determined by Prop 13, 2% increases there. But we also have growth, and I know that in past meetings, Jack, you've talked about a lot of our energy upgrades that are occurring. And so we're having to reassess property because new upgraded energy.
Yeah, so
Equipment is going-
so for the state assessee, they value them at fair market value every lien date.
Yeah, okay.
They the inflation is not a factor, it's just the value of the property. And we are now going to be valuing it in the Internet Over Protocol
Oh, okay.
assessee. So you're gonna see, they should be with the county, and they should be being valued with the county. We don't know, maybe they are, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
But now that they're under the BOE's jurisdiction, we're gonna value them, and we're gonna value them at market value every year. As
Yes.
opposed to, at the county level, they're under the Prop 13, limited to 2%. But, Mr. McCall, can you address valuation? I don't think you guys deal with inflation, right?
Hello, Jack McCool, Chief State Assessed Properties Division. So the 9 trillion number incorporates all the local assessment numbers. So state assessed value is about 165 billion. So the 9 trillion, the lion's share of that
Small
is,
amount relative.
yeah, so the 9 trillion is majority the local assessment. Of that, residential valuation is most likely the reason for the larger increase. So while there's Prop 13 protections from year to year, it's those transactions of homes. So the change in ownership from a sale triggers that reassessable event.
Yes.
So it's typically that large jump from when a home sells
Okay.
and the new reassessment that's accounting for that percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a way to look at it and see if the amount of revenue coming in is a real increase when inflation is taken into consideration?
I'm sure that could be done. I believe we do have data that's collected via the controller's office primarily, from each county assessor's office, that we would be able to segregate the 9 trillion between commercial, industrial, and residential. And we could probably isolate, residential, for example, and do some analysis to see, taking out inflation, what the net gain would be as a percentage.
Is that something you could do?
It's certainly something I think the agency could potentially explore doing.
The executive director.
Sure.
I'm just curious. As
Yeah.
to, are real dollars increasing over time in terms of property tax revenue collected?
I think that data would be out there.
Okay.
And I think, my personal opinion, we have the ability to do so. I'm not sure about the other units and their capacity
Yeah,
to take
whether
on
you
such
got
an
the
assignment, but
bandwidth
I
or
think the
not.
data is out there.
Sure. You may not have the time to do it, but it's just an interesting question.
So your question is, the increase in property tax revenue, is it real increase? Does it factor in inflation? And I think Mr. McCullough is saying that data might be available at the state controller's office.
Okay.
Is that something that the entire board would like to see?
Well, I could jump in on that, only if it's readily available, because I think there's so many other things that impact that overall gross value. We're in a worldwide real estate market in California, so it doesn't just grow with inflation. It's more punctuated equilibrium where the demand from all around the world to have investments here really causes it to be a more dynamic market.
Well, I will say this, I will have the research and stacks team first take a look to see if the data is there and do a preliminary look and see if we could get some high-level answers.
Okay, because the report, now, you're right, because we had the Great Recession, right? So values went way down, but this is from 2016 to 25, and it's like a stair step. It's like going up a set of stairs. Every year it's increasing. I know there's a lot of variables as to why,
Okay,
but I'm trying to figure out,
okay,
is revenue really increasing?
okay. We'll take a look at it, Mr. Angelo.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Other questions, Mr. Emron? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Schaefer.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to ask, go back to the exemptions page, qualifying exemptions 2024-25. I notice you have nonprofits colleges listed, but you don't have profit colleges. Maybe they're not entitled to exemption, but I see you give private schools, which I assume are profit schools. You mentioned them at $5,981,000,000. There's an inconsistency between public and private institutions here that I don't understand.
Well, they have to meet the requirements in order to get the exemption, and a for-profit college will not meet the requirements. And a private
But
school,
might meet the requirements, huh?
they obviously, excuse me, yes, sir, they're meeting the requirements under the law. And I'm drawing a blank on the statute itself. Carolyn Steinman? See, this is what happens when you let Dave take the day off.
Exactly.
Or Richard, you wanna? Richard, Mr. Moon, Chief Counsel.
Richard Moon, Chief Counsel. Yeah, so there is an exemption, a constitutional exemption for nonprofit institutions of higher learning. And obviously for-profits are not going to be nonprofits.
Mr. Moon, do you know anything about the low-valued property, which is at 162 million? What type of properties are those?
Sorry, where are you seeing that?
The low, sir, Yvette Stowers, Executive Director, the low-value property are properties that is valued at $5,000 or less, and the county assessors have the ability to provide the exemption due to that low value.
What kind of property would be worth less than $5,000?
It's generally vacant land that's not being used.
Vacant land out in the mountains someplace, huh?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chair Gaines, his question about that.
Couldn't that include like a fishing boat, things of that sort?
I'm sorry?
Like an aluminum fishing boat, rowboats, don't
Yeah.
those fall under that threshold?
It could, yes.
Okay.
Which, and the Board of Supervisors make the determination.
Okay. Anyone else on this item? Mr. Emron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to congratulate you and just commend you, Executive Director Stowers. It's $100 billion for the first time in 175 years. The numbers have been trending. It speaks to the job that you and your staff are doing and making sure that these assessments are fair, that people and taxpayers and institutions have a right to their fair share, and then how the dollars are being distributed as well. My one question would be, in regards to the SAPD program, 19 audits last year, over $300,000 that were netted into the general fund. Are you seeing some trends in those audits, like one or two high-level trends in what SAPD assessed property folks and corporations and companies, or maybe doing wrong, or maybe you're finding through your audit process that you can share with the board? Or is that something you keep confidential?
Thank you for the question, Deputy Controller Imran. Mr. McCall?
I guess the general question would be, how does BOE prioritize which companies to audit? And the current audit cycle frequency, is it adequate to assure accuracy across the entire state assessed roll? So 19 audits last year, $300,000. And as you continue on, how are you targeting this?
Thank you for the questions, Jack McCool, Chief State Assessed Properties Division. There's a couple of things. For prioritization of our audits, a lot of the flags for audits will occur at this time of the year. So as we're going through the annual returns that are filed and we're doing our annual valuations, one of the roles for our individual auditor appraisers is to flag reporting that is inconsistent with prior years. So one of the main things we're looking at when we determine which companies to audit is really inconsistent reporting. So when numbers don't make sense year to year, that's typically a flag. In addition to that, we do have an informal rotation for the larger assessees to ensure that the companies that make up the majority of our state assessed value are being audited on a semi-regular basis. State assessed properties does not have the same type of statutory audit requirements that local assessors have. So it's pretty much at our discretion which assessees we choose to audit and how frequently we do so. But we do prioritize both inconsistent reporting as well as a rotation for the larger state assessees.
Understood, appreciate that. That's something that I learned now today. My other question would be just about the homeowner's exemption. It represents $32.5 billion of the $375 billion in total exemption. That's about 8 cents to every exemption dollar. Meanwhile, charitable nonprofits alone account for nearly half of the exemption base at $180.9 billion. And just historically, has that discrepancy always been the case? And how does the Board of Equalization evaluate whether the exemption categories are working both for the individual homeowners and the large institutions?
Well, Yvette Stowers, the Executive Director, thank you, Deputy Controller Imran, for that question. The homeowner's exemption is typically low. It's only $7,000. So it's going to always be less than a charitable nonprofit.
And do we have data on if every eligible homeowner is actually claiming that exemption? For example, I would say that because at the foster youth tax credit at FTB, we have data now that says only 1 in 5 foster youth eligible are claiming the credit. And that's something you don't have to answer now, but.
We wouldn't have that data, the BOE, because they when they purchase their home, they file for the exemption, they file it at the county level.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Vasquez.
Just one quick question. I was noticing, when I guess it's on page 17, you touched on the majority of this money going really to the schools. Does that go directly just to their general fund? Do you know?
At the local county level?
local.
It goes to the county.
Or it goes to the counties?
The county, and then the county disperses it.
And they disperse it?
Yeah.
And then I guess on page 18, when you look at all these taxes, I guess the alcohol beverage tax is the only one that took a hit. And I don't know if that was just an anomaly or is that a trend that you're seeing?
Let's hold on that one, and then when we do the reports, the quarterly report, we will be able to answer that question. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to get a larger report on that.
Yes, yes.
A little bit later.
Yeah, I don't want to say it incorrectly. It's just a decrease, and it's an excise tax, so not a consumption tax.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I think we'll thank Ms. Stowers for the presentation of the annual report.
Excuse me, I had a question, Madam Chair.
Oh, Mr. Schaefer.
Yes, Ms. Stowers, I'm fascinated by the numbers page. you give us the exact number of telephone calls answered. I don't have a number gauge on my phone. I just wondered, are our telephones prepared to record each and every call and identified as being Prop 19 or not Prop 19? I'm amazed at the specificity of your statistics here. And I would hope it's not costing us any great amount of money to collect that statistic.
We love numbers here, and we keep a record of all calls coming in and the questions asked. That's just whether it's the appraisers in us, or the accountants in us. We like data, so we're keeping
So-
track. We need to keep track
so
to know what type of questions we're
It's,
getting,
it's,
see
it's
if
done,
there's
of
a.
course, on a daily basis, and it doesn't require really any extra effort.
It's no extra effort, sir. It's more of it's a good due diligence so that we know who's calling and what the questions are, because there could be a gap somewhere that we need to do more education and outreach.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much, and thank you to all the staff who are involved in the production of the annual report. It's a great portrait of everything that is going on at the agency. And I can't believe the amount of work that gets done by just 190 or so staff. And I really like to tell people in my district that we are lean and not at all mean. So go ahead and try us and bring their problems and issues. And that's one thing staff are dealing with, a huge load of complexities, but are also available for all of those small technical questions that come forward from taxpayers. And so I very much appreciate that coverage for that as well. So
Thank you, board members, and it's really the work that you guys do out there in your districts and working with the taxpayers and seeing if they do have a problem. And that's what's so really, really important about the Board of Equalization is our openness and willingness to meet the taxpayers where they're at and provide the assistance. And again, it's you guys as elected officials who are really carrying that torch. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, we are going to break at this point at 12:30 and come back. I think I had it in here that we wanted to, okay, it's in here as a 60-minute lunch, which is great. So we will break now and come back and resume hearing the rest of the executive director's reports. So 1 hour from now, members, 1:30. Thank you.